in Kansas, and it's a little windy, and we are at Aeromotive. We're gonna do a shop tour. They just moved locations, so there's no signage outside, but I'm pretty sure we're in the right place. So, let's go.
Hello, welcome to Aeromotive.
Well, what's on the agenda?
Well, I'm going to give you a tour of the brand new Aeromotive facility and home of Waterman Racing, all the Pertronics performance brands, which is Doug's headers, JBA, Pertronics, ignition components itself, bike starters, Taylor cable, all the brands right here in-house. So let's go, whole bunch of them. So let's go show you around a bit. Inside here, we have Jeff Stacy, our Vice President of Sales. And then next door, we have Philip in here. He's our National Sales Manager.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good.
Hey, and inside here, this is the engineering department for Aeromotive and then all the other brands as well. This is Alexandria. She's our engineering tech. Over here modeling some kind of starter components. So this is where we are. So there's Alexandria, myself, Josh, and Sean in here. And then through this door is actually the production area for the Aeromotive, Pertronics, and Waterman stuff. All right, so out here, this is the actual assembly area for all of the Aeromotive, Pertronics, and Waterman components, and some of the Taylor stuff too. So every pump gets tested, has to meet flow spec, usually amperage, and then also add a pressure. Everything's tested before it leaves, so it should be good when you get it. This is actually a potting machine here where they're actually pot the circuit boards. Yep, they'll pot the circuit boards on these, and then also like the brushless controllers for the brushless fuel pumps. They pot all the electronics within the caps and everything too to help keep it all sealed and everything and protected from elements and
Fuel.
Whatever else, fuel, anything else. For some prototyping, we have a CMM machine here. CMM is actually, this is a measuring device here, so we use this probe and then move this around, and we can touch off on different parts of geometry to either use it to reverse engineer something, or a lot of times we're using it for quality control to check hole locations, check all the different features and everything, and make sure they're all where they should be. Something we use probably all day, every day, or a lot of days. This is a 3D printer. We use this for a lot of prototyping, so we can actually go from a model to a printed finished part, usually in a matter of hours.
It's probably like the nicest looking 3D printer I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen like a whole.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's a microwave or a toaster oven of some kind. So if it would make a sandwich, that would be cooler, but it doesn't. So, but yeah, we use this thing all the time, especially for a lot of the application-specific parts where we're checking fitment and height clearances and things like that. So, anyway, allows us to use that without actually machining a physical part. On one of the CNCs, it's just a lot quicker. Over here, we have a lot of the Waterman racing test equipment.
Flow testing and...
Yep, we're testing again flow. We're testing things at a pressure, and then this is where they test a lot of the sprint pumps on this thing. Hook the pump up here. That's a big electric motor that drives it, and then we run them up to certain RPMs and then check the pressure at different RPMs and make sure that it's flowing correctly. This is actually, and this is what we use to actually test the NASCAR pumps.
Very long tests.
Some of them, yeah, a lot of the Waterman stuff, it has a break-in period, so we actually put it on the test stand and let it run to break in for a while, certain period of time, and then after it's broke in, then we'll go ahead and run it up to RPM and check everything out. This is the machine we like to call Dorothy. It's a reference to the old Twister movie. Dorothy is what's used to test the large mechanical Waterman pumps, such as everything in the Bertha, like little Berthas, even
Giant.
Up to the big Bertha, yeah, like stuff you're talking, that's upwards of 30 gallons a minute flow rates, so 30 to 50 gallon a minute flow rates and higher if need be. So it sounds like a jet engine when it's testing, so it gets pretty rowdy. More of the Waterman test equipment over here, or assembly stuff over here, where he puts together a lot of the check valves and everything. So he's actually a fixture there for testing valves and crack pressures on different check valves, because we can set those at different pressures depending on what the customer wants, whether it's 10 psi, 20 psi, whatever. We'll take you over and show you the EFI test stand over here. This is actually where we test all the EFI pumps. So we can test all the TVS pumps, which is the true variable speed, everything. So leads hook up here, the pump goes in here, we clamp it over. Then again, we test everything at flow rate at a pressure, and then we're checking for a certain amperage at a set voltage too. So we're checking all that on the EFI stuff because it is all electronically controlled, even and especially with the brushless stuff. So
you test every single one? Or
every single pump. Yep.
Oh my God.
We test.
So not like every 5th pump. You just every single pump.
Every single pump that they build is tested here before it leaves. And then on the R&D side, before we actually release a pump, we generally endurance test pumps to around 2,000 hours continuous. So we'll
Does someone have to stay here for 2,000 hours straight?
We'll see the stand outside in the shop there that we can run lights out basically, so we can let it run continuous without somebody standing there watching it, because we have a bunch of fail safes programmed into it to turn it off in case something does happen. This is the large mechanical test stand for the Aeromotive pumps here. So inside there's another big electric motor in there that we use all these adapters to connect the Aeromotive spur gear pumps to test. So this is all the stuff, you know, in the upward, you know, 16 to, well, actually clear down to the gerotor pumps, the 12 gallon a minute stuff, clear up to the 30 something gallons a minute on the Aeromotive extreme spur gears. Again, all the small in-tank 340 pumps and everything, they're all tested on this too, just like we test all the other EFI pumps. So, of either the mechanical style or A1000s, eliminators, and any of the brushless. So
every single pump.
Every single pump, yep. This is Aaron, our returns and repairs guy. He's taking a pump apart for service or rebuild or rebuild. So this is a lot of the Pertronics assembly over here, where they're assembling a lot of the boards that go inside the distributors. So they're assembling all that here, soldering all the wires to the boards, and then assembling everything. And then once the distributors get assembled fully, then they actually come over here and get tested on one of our distributor test stands.
Synchrograph.
Yep. So a lot of these are all distributor test machines. So they'll hook one up on there, run it, and then we can actually make sure it's firing correctly. It'll actually light up on the certain
where it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll show you at different either degrees and then how many different cylinders, whether it's a 4, 6, or 8 cylinder distributor. It'll light up and show you that it's hitting on all points before it gets shipped out. So that way you know everything's good right out of the box. So again, test everything.
Every one that you guys make gets tested.
Yep, on the distributors as well too.
Usually it's like every few, just to make sure things are still going right. But
yeah, no, we like to run them all. There's a batch of them. They're getting ready to go out here now. All right, so now we are in the warehouse area of the whole facility, with also includes the R&D area for engineering, shipping, and receiving. I mean, pretty much everything else that goes along with the warehouse side of the business is out here. We're standing around right now all of the finished components that get then built into the final product inside. So over here is all the Pertronics and spike components.
All the stuff they were building right there.
Yep, a lot of the stuff is over there. Then over here on this side is a lot of the Aeromotive finished components and fittings and everything. So everything from little Y-block fittings over here, and then just all the raw components for building the different type of pump assemblies. So some of the outlet caps for different application specific stuff. These are all Waterman. A lot of this is the Waterman racing components over here, and water pumps also. So these are like some bodies, raw bodies for water pumps. You're
breaking stuff.
We're trying not to break stuff. So there's one of the water pump housings for our electric water pumps. So then they'll take it inside and finish assembling it, put the motor and the impeller and everything else with it, and then be ready to go.
The impeller?
Yep, there you go.
Wow.
Yep. Yep, they're all aluminum impellers there. So over here again, we have some of the Waterman stuff. There's some of the
Waterman fuel pumps.
Yep, Waterman pump bodies over here of different sizes depending on which pump it is. So everything there. So all the different stuff for all the Sprint pumps, and then all the Bertha pumps and the Nostalgia and all the different types. And then around the corner over here, this is where they're assembling all the Gen 2 tanks, which are the EFI conversion fuel tanks.
Okay.
Or a way to have a electric fuel pump in your older muscle car. So that's in tank. So we offer them for all the most popular stuff. The pretty much any of the Mustangs from 64 up, Camaros, Chevelles, you know, you name it. So we've likely got an application for you for most of the popular muscle cars. So that's what all the components are here. This is Foz over here. He's putting together one right now.
Oh, nice.
Yep, hi Foz.
Hello.
Yeah, so yeah, Foz is putting together one of the tanks here right now. This is a Mopar tank. This is either, I believe, Barracuda. Pump is inside here below the cap, and then the hoses ran internally over here to the outlet cap. So the outlet cap is where the factory fuel level sender used to be. So now you have outlet and return ports for fuel in and out, and then your terminals, positive, negative, and then a level for your fuel level sender, because it comes fully assembled with fuel level sender already inside of it. Everything brand new tanks. You don't have to put a nice new
old tank out.
Yeah, you don't have to put a new pump in an old nasty gas tank. So you can just buy the whole thing new and assembled, and put it in, run your hoses, wires, ready to go.
Drop your rusted out tank.
Drop your rusted out tank, throw it away. So yeah, thanks, Foz.
Thank you.
So that's what they're doing over here, is assembling a lot of the EFI Gen 2 gas tanks over here. So over here is the machine shop area where they machine a lot of the smaller components for the distributors and some of the other ignition products over here. Some of them just need a secondary operation, so they'll do a lot of that stuff over here, and then it kind of blends into the spike starter stuff over here. So this is where they assemble spike starters, things. We got a couple batches here getting ready to be tested. Build all the starters over here, and then starters actually all get tested as well once we get over here. This is more of the engineering R&D area. So we generally prototype about any component here new. And so we have a little Haas kind of tool room lathe here, a little CNC deal. And then we also have a little Haas mini mill to machine prototype parts and components. That way we can do it all here in-house, because a lot of times if you needed a prototype and try to send it out to an outside shop, some of them can be 6 to 8 weeks, and we don't want to wait that long, so we just do it ourselves. So
nice.
We have the capability to make just about anything we need to right here as far as prototyping. This is our larger Akuma Mac turn machine. So this is a 5-axis machine. We use this on especially a lot of the outlet caps. Has the ability, again, to machine 5-axis stuff, and then also spindle transfers and things. So again, we use it for a lot of the prototyping right here in-house. So over here, this is more of the engineering and R&D area. This is a new water pump test stand we're actually building right now, so we can test water pumps a little quicker for the production department. So some of the other companies too, they don't actually advertise that they're tested at a pressure, but we actually do with ours. So, and then also we've got a small little abrasive water jet that we use to, again, for prototyping little brackets and components and things. So here's a little like level sender bracket that's going on something. I can't tell you what that goes to quite yet, but it'll be cool.
It's gonna be really awesome.
Yep.
Not allowed to say?
Nope.
Going back to, sorry, my brain's stuck on there. So you guys test it at pressure. So obviously, have you ever tested the difference in flow under pressure and not under pressure?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we test them at free flow too.
Okay.
So we want that number, and then, but also as pressure increases, flow decreases.
Okay.
So that's why we like to advertise the numbers at a under pressure, because that way you can tell the customer or the end consumer, whoever it is, actually what the pump's going to do at an operating pressure instead of just free flow. Because in a typical system, it's going to be under some kind of pressure. So that way it gives it, more of a real world number as to what it's doing.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yep, so that's why we do that.
Yeah, I never would have thought of that.
Yep, that's why we do that. So this is another water pump test stand that we use for a lot of the R&D on the pumps. So it looks like a conglomeration of pipes and hoses and things, but
because that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. But there's a lot going on there.
I like the.
Yeah, yeah. It's ready to party.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is actually our test stand for R&D stuff for fuel pumps. Things. So this is where we do the endurance testing on it, and we have this all hooked up to a data acquisition system here. Yeah, so we can actually set all kinds of different parameters and fail safes on when we're testing pumps to kill the pump if need be, if it either falls out of a pressure window that we set. So if it, we say, it falls 2 to 3 psi out of the window, it'll shut the pump off automatically.
Okay.
So we can run the lights out testing on it too. So that's how we do the endurance testing on it. So literally we test the pump, most of them all at around 2,000 hours continuous on a pump before we'll deem it ready to go for the market. before we ship
send it to some crazy people to go do a drag and drive.
Yeah, that kind of stuff too, yeah. Over here, we're now in the warehouse, or back out in the warehouse here of the Aeromotive shipping department. So shipping and receiving happens over here. Over here is all the Aeromotive and Waterman finished goods over here that they're just pulling ready for orders.
Okay, so this answers my question. You do have some stuff that you pre-build, keep on
Oh,
the shelf,
sure. Yeah, we have.
out.
Yeah, we have lots and lots of stuff that we keep there. It's just some of the bigger mechanical pumps that are harder
More
to build.
customizable.
Sure, a lot of that, and then all the filters, regulators, everything else. All the drop-in pump assemblies are over here, all ready to go. Regulators of different type, carbureted EFI stuff, even regulator repair kits, filter elements. So remind people, change your filters in your cars, including the race cars. Cheap insurance. Again, all the little adapters and things for the Waterman pumps to adapt them to whatever inlet and outlet configuration you've got. This whole giant wall of things, this is all the Pertronics brands of finished components over here that they're pulling to ship over this way. This is where we receive everything over here as well, and then over here, this is where they're shipping out products for the JBA and the Taylor products. This corner of the warehouse actually holds all of our Gen 2 raw tanks over here before they're actually built into the finished tank with all the fuel pump and everything loaded into them. So you've got all your different options over here, including the new C10 fabricated tanks over here and the brackets and everything. So these are all ready to go over here. To be built for your choice of A1000 clear to a 10 gallon a minute pump inside a C10 fabricated tank that relocates behind the rear axles. Pretty cool stuff. It's kind of race car technology that you can put in your street truck or race truck, whatever you want.
See, I just need to send my fuel cell to you guys out of my Maverick, so you can just copy that one and
make a whole line of Maverick products.
Yeah.
You're not biased towards the Maverick stuff though at all.
No, not at all.
Don't you have a name on the internet that something? I need a cool internet name too like that. We'll work on that.
Kansas Matt.
That's not cool.
Yeah. But I don't really operate after midnight, so I need something that has like, afternoon in the name or noon
Engineering
or
Matt.
engineering. Kansas Engineering Matt.
Engineering Matt.
Engineering?
Matt the engineer.
Midwest Morning Matt.
Midwest Morning. Yeah, because Matt operates in the morning. Yeah, there you go.
That works.
Yeah. Sounds like a t-shirt in the making.
I like Midwest Matt.
Midwest Morning Matt. So next we'll go look at the Waterman cable building. Okay, so over here is the Waterman cable building area. So we build 3 different sizes of cables. We have small, medium, and extra large. Don't ask me why there's not a large, but it skips from medium to extra large.
Okay.
Just the way it is. It allows you to remote mount a mechanical fuel pump at the back of the car, but even though the cable is being driven off the front of the motor, usually by either a pulley drive or a cam drive or something on the front of the motor that's turning the cable. So the reason for that is a lot of the mechanical pumps, they're very good at pushing fuel, but they're not good at pulling fuel. So
if you have a strong 60-foot, it doesn't like it being in the front?
Right, yeah, gravity is your enemy when you have a car that's doing a massive wheel stand or something, or just that 60 foot's really hard or whatever. It's kind of the goal though, right?
In our personal experience, after a 117 60-foot doesn't tend to like it?
Yeah, I mean, stuff like that. So what this does is allows you to then mount the mechanical pump and gives you a way to drive that pump, which is normally driven off the camshaft or a set of gears or pulleys or off the front of the motor. So instead you can mount it at the rear of the car, and then that way the pump then pushes fuel from the fuel cell, which is generally mounted at the rear, and then pushes it to the front of the car, which makes it operate a lot better. But yeah, we'll build it to any length that you want and any of the sizes. The sizes are dependent upon your flow rates. The extra large stuff is for your bigger flow rate stuff, clear up into the low 20 gallon a minute stuff, on down to some of the smaller cable that we actually use on some of the NASCAR teams to drive smaller, real small mechanical gear pumps. So
lightweight?
Yep, lightweight, lesser flow rate, but
Tony likes lightweight.
Yeah, so this is kind of the area we build everything. This is a pretty good example of an actual a finished case assembly.
Oh, wow.
So we have an adjustable end on one side here, so it does give you some adjustment.
Within an inch or two?
Yeah, you've got about 3/4 to an inch or so worth of play there that you can adjust it if need be to the length. This is an extra large here.
This is the actual.
Yep, this is an extra large core then.
Oh wow.
So the core then goes inside. Think of it like a weed eater or weed whacker, So that's how your weed whacker operates, is you have the motor up top there, and then it's driving the head down below with one of these type of cables. We have 3/8 hex drive on here that can adapt to a lot of the different Waterman pump adapters and everything to be able to spin it.
Just slides right in there?
Yep, and this piece just slides inside there. It's also greased when it goes inside there as well. And these are serviceable too. You can actually send them back at the end of the race season if you want it to be serviced, and they can take it apart, inspect everything, re-grease it. So yeah, interesting stuff on how to solve a problem on driving the mechanical pump that's mounted at the rear of the car. Yeah, we've got a lot of brands under one roof here too, so it's kind of a hot rod,
Conglomeration.
hot rod parts, mecca here of all kinds of stuff for out of your street car clear to your race car. So yeah, we can outfit you with about anything you need, from fuel systems, exhaust, ignition, even some motorcycle parts. So,
All of it.
But what you guys are here for, or were, is because we had recently got together on a project with you guys, and you put this sort of setup here, which is one of the Fox Body Mustang tanks. We have this available. This is a standard brushed version of a pump, but we actually gave you one of the brand new TVS brushless versions.
So it's variable speed because it's a street car.
Yep.
We can drive on the street and not run this thing at the highest output possible.
Right, so then you're not returning all the fuel back to the tank, heating it up and everything, on your more of the street driving part of it. So, but then under wide open throttle demand, then you've got the full flow of the fuel due to the variable speed motor there that runs the pump.
Nice. Yeah, I have the same thing in my Maverick, not in the tank, obviously, because you guys don't make the tank yet.
Right, for the
For a Maverick.
Right.
But yeah, we ran that race week. It worked well.
Yeah.
Did really good.
Anyway, but yeah, so we appreciate you guys coming and taking a tour of Aeromotive and seeing what we got going on over here. So we got some new stuff coming down, and like I said, we're still trying to get moved into the whole building here and get everything situated. But
Got some boxes to unpack.
we got a few boxes to unpack
took
still.
up your
But I
whole
mean, who doesn't move into a new house and have their stuff unpacked in the first week or two?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're getting there. But yeah, it's been great having you guys here. We appreciate you coming,
Thank you,
checking out
yeah.
the place, and
I appreciate
using the products.
tour. Very interesting.
yeah, there's a lot to see here. So.
Yeah.
You can always kind
A
of
lot
look
more
around
than I
and
thought.
you can always look around and see something different too. But for this go around, we saw a lot.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. So anytime. So
Okay, bye.
bye.